Hey YouTube, this is Eddie's Tech Talk, and this is my full review of the iPhone SE 2020, or the iPhone SE 2, whatever you want to say. You can see here I have the red one, and look, I switched over to an iPhone. If you're a longtime follower of the channel, that's going to shock you. I've been an Android user for 9 years before I just switched over to the iPhone SE, pretty much right after it came out in the middle of September. And obviously, now as the time of this upload, we're talking mid-November. So I've been moved into this phone for a couple months now. I've used it every single day. I've used it, responding to texts, let's say social media. I've used it for work stuff. I've used it to take photos. This has been my only phone since I purchased it in mid-September. So this is not a review like the type where it's like, hey, full review, I used it for a couple weeks, here's what I think. I mean, this is multi-month, stress-tested, dropped it, unfortunately, not planned, multiple charge cycles, all that fun stuff. This has been my phone, just like if you buy it, it'll be your phone. And we're also talking about the iPhone SE in an iPhone 12 world, so I'll talk a little bit about that as well. But first, let's just go around the device, because look, this device on camera, does it look exceptional? I'll zoom out here. No, I mean, there's nothing innovative about this design. We can see, we've got our full screen here, but we've got full bezels, top and bottom. It's just a dated design, and it just, to be quite frank, on camera, doesn't look good. How has my night been? My night has been exceptional, because I'm reviewing the iPhone SE. But in any case, the design's dated, okay, and we go along to the back. Pretty much the only thing different from the iPhone 8 and previous that have used these designs for many, many years is the location of the Apple logo, pretty much, and then obviously a little bit with the camera setup. So, look, I don't want to wear it out, but this design, it's old, it doesn't look great on camera, and look, would I like a more modern smartphone? Yes. Can you get a more modern smartphone design for the same price as this phone, around $400? Yes. So, maybe some people are walking out right now and saying, okay, well, I can get a phone that looks way better, same price, or cheaper. I'm going to go do that. Don't leave just yet, though. Like I said, I've been an Android user for 9 years. Yeah, I don't like the design, but it's built so solidly well. The metal sides are fantastic, if that'll focus. And the build quality is better than my Pixel 4, which is the phone that I moved from, namely in where the glass back here sits flush with the side, and then the screen on the front sits flush with that side. So, geez, I have to turn my notifications off. I'm very much a popular man this evening. However, anyway, like I was saying, the build quality here, exceptional. The design's not good, but that's not the same as build quality. Things are built every bit as good as the $1,000 smartphones out there from build quality. We even have wireless charging here, which a lot of the cheaper competitors like the Pixel 4a are lacking, which I have really liked having that. I have wireless charging pads. I use it all the time. I love it. You're getting premium features here at this low price point. Basically, you're skimping on the design. We'll talk about some of the other sacrifices later. But this is built every bit as good as those more expensive phones. So, sure, let's unlock this device. Let's get into it. So I do really enjoy iOS 14 and all that comes with iOS 14. We've got widgets here, which was a big complaint of mine back in the day when iOS, it just seemed like, was very poor at multitasking, very poor at doing multiple things at once. And now with the widgets that are live and dynamic, like the Smart Stack widget up here, and the the suggestions from Siri on what to do, the weather, the battery, and then what's nice about this widget, if you hook up headphones, it'll tell you that battery. So again, these widgets are dynamic. iOS is doing multitasking in a much better way these days, and that was something that drew me to the iPhone in part because, look, it seemed like iOS was finally not really a gimped OS anymore. It was finally with the rest of us in terms of multitasking. But that also brings me to a criticism of the phone in the iOS. It's not perfect, and I am a little surprised. So let's say, for instance, I want to scroll through here. We're going to scroll through to the app library, and we're going to look for Tile When you open the Tile app, for instance, like I was saying, we can find our devices via Bluetooth, all that fun stuff that the Tile app does. And then let's say I'm going to close that. I'm going to open the weather app. We're going to check the weather out. Snow, I don't love that, but you know, all right, I'm moving on with my life. Now I want to close some apps. Let's close that. Let's close Tile, right? Oh, well, Tile disabled and not running. So it is weird that iOS is doing these sorts of things. I just want to close these apps just to kind of clear them out. I don't need them actively open anymore. I'm not actively using them. But with Android, you can still have stuff run in the background and be passive with something like iOS 14. And this isn't an iPhone 20 SE 2020 problem, but it is just something that really gets on my nerves with iOS. The multitasking is so much better. However, you know, I have to leave Tile always running in that app tray for it to work. And as someone who just comes from Android and just loves seeing that clean multitasking view, where there's no apps open, it just gets on my nerves. However, another plus in the iPhone SE 2020's favor, you don't really need to go close apps. I mean, iOS does fantastic with memory management. So you can have so many apps open. I've gone so far back in the app queue, and the apps are still open in the background. I don't know how iOS does it, running on much less RAM than its Android counterparts, but you don't really need to close those apps. So while I wish that user interface was better, just the intuitiveness was better, and it felt more like a computer with things running in the background with the Tile app, for instance, you don't really need to go close those apps, and that is something in iOS's favor, certainly. Now, other things about the iPhone SE, you can see just on home screens, this is the best look at it. If you're coming from another iPhone or you're coming from a larger Android phone, things are cramped. And I mean, I've used so many large Android phones before. Things are cramped here, especially on a more widget-heavy page. Where I have 3 widgets here. These apps are actually kind of that Siri intelligent widget. So I have apps here. Things are a little cramped. But I really just don't... Look, I didn't think I was going to love this phone coming into it. I only got this phone essentially because the Pixel 4a wasn't out yet, and I needed a phone, and this was the budget phone that was out there. It's cramped, okay, sure, but look, to me it's fine. It's just... The things that I've always disliked in the past, dated design, you know, those weird multitasking quirks, the widgets and the crampedness, it's supposed to bother me. And if it was an Android phone, I'm sure it would bother me. But for some reason on iOS, and like I said, I'm no iOS homer here, things just work, and they work good, and I don't mind it. I just don't mind it. Let's pull up a YouTube video really quick. We can see what's going on with those, but you know, look, even if we're looking at we've got an ad coming up here, but even if we're looking at this iPhone SE, let's rotate it. There's bars on the side, but you don't have to zoom in, you don't have to deal with the notch. Look, the design, I'm not gonna belabor anymore. You can take it, you can leave it. The display also, I thought, would shock me with its fairly low resolution. It's not even a 1080p display. However, look, that was another thing that really didn't bother me. I could see a pixel here or there from time to time. However, again, it just wasn't super bothersome. Everything on iOS, they've ran at this resolution, they've ran on these displays for so long that everything is super optimized for the iPhone SE. Because look, it's the guts of an iPhone 8 essentially, with the most powerful chip you could get in a smartphone when this came out, and now that Apple's new chips are out, it's the second most powerful chip you can get in a smartphone. So playback of video, fantastic. You might have gotten a look at the speakers there. I've actually thought the speakers on this phone are fantastic. You have stereo firing speakers on a $400 phone, which is to me just very awesome, and the speakers are very good. I've actually listened to them for extended periods. So the earpiece up here is a speaker, and then down here, just for uniformity, you've got these matching grates, but only one of them is a speaker. But video playback, fantastic, smooth. The phone never gets hot, which some of the Android phones I've used in the past have done with video playback. This phone does get mildly hot in extended, I'm talking 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and longer FaceTime calls. But again, Nothing that's a deal breaker here. Not a big deal. And it's really outlasting my girlfriend's couple-year-old iPhone 10 at this point in FaceTime calls with the thermal dissipation, the heat, those sorts of things. I have tested that out, and it's beating a phone like the iPhone 10. So, look, things here for a $400 phone on paper, we've got one camera. We don't have more. We've got a dated design. We have, just on paper, not a very compelling phone. But the intangibles and just the small things all seem to line up here. The T's are crossed, the I's are dotted. And look, is it the best phone you can buy for $400? I don't know. Is it the best iPhone you can buy for $400? Certainly. Anything refurbished or old or anything like that is not going to stack up to this. This is certainly one of the best phones, I think, that is just available to me under the $800 or $900 price point. I bought the $450 128 gig version. This thing is going to be future-proof. That is the advantage of Apple, and that's what I really like here. You're getting, like I said, now the second most powerful chip in any smartphone. Even now, you're getting the iOS ecosystem, which, look, iMessage is a total game changer for an Android guy. I've come over here. I'm not going to show you any messages, but just the reactions you can do, the replies. You think that it's not a big deal until you use it. And I will tell you a story about just being in this Apple ecosystem as well. When my friend got engaged recently, she FaceTimed me. And look, there are other video chat apps that exist. There's Google Duo, there's Skype, there's, ABCD. However, with the ubiquitous nature of something like iMessage and of something like FaceTime with these, with the camera here, with that ubiquitous nature, it doesn't matter that there's other apps. My friend FaceTimed me and called me to tell me that she got engaged, and I was so happy for her and her fiance. And that wouldn't have happened if I had an Android, which sounds odd. It's not like there's technical limitations of the phone. I'm not talking about, the technical pieces of the phone here anymore. All phones have cameras. All phones have microphones. They can all do video chat, but they can't all do FaceTime. And for better or worse, with this ecosystem that's out there, that is what happened. I would not have gotten a video chat call on another, service. I might not have found out when I did. And that's just the power of this ecosystem. And that's partially what you're buying into for $400 or $450. And then, look, am I an Apple convert? No. Is this phone perfect? Also no. The camera is the same iOS camera app that we've seen for a long time. It opens fast, it focuses decently fast, and it takes photos pretty fast. I just didn't think the photos were that exceptional, and you can take a look at them now. So as you can see there, the photos are serviceable and at times pretty good. It's just not, I didn't feel like I was taking just an absolute photography weapon out like I was when I had the Pixel 4. That would just take fabulous shots no matter what I was doing. The videography as well, I haven't tested extensively, but look, you're getting a good camera here. It's a serviceable camera. This is, to me, probably the biggest drawback in terms of what you would get in a higher priced phone. Battery life is also likewise good. Not great, but better than my Pixel 4, which of course was not a notorious battery champion by any means, but that's what you're getting here. You're getting just a good value in a good package, and like I said, access to that Apple ecosystem and the things that it gets you just intangibly through your use, because look, everyone has a friend who has an iPhone, or your parents have an iPhone, or your significant other has an iPhone, and you're just missing out on some of those perhaps moments by not being in that ecosystem, and that is what Apple does so well. For $400, for $450, it's hard to go wrong. And I didn't think I would be keeping this phone around, but here we are. This has been Eddie's Tech Talk. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in the next one.